Greetings YouTube and welcome back to my channel. The day has finally come. We are off to Africa. It's been a long time coming, about 15 years, but more about that later. It was absolutely horrendous weather yesterday. Storms, wind, rain. Luckily, it's cleared up outside for now. Hopefully it stays that way. I've got 500 miles ahead of me, thereabouts, and about 12 hours. Let's have it. Okay, I'm officially on my way. Next destination, Africa. More precisely, Morocco, the Atlas Mountains and the Sahara Desert. It's been a long time coming, as I mentioned a moment ago, about 15 years. So 15 years ago or so, my longest standing friend, a guy called Martin, who I've known since the age of 3, bought me the handbook to adventure motorcycling. We were about to go on a trip together to the Swiss Alps and the Dolomites and Austria, which we did and had a fantastic time. I was on a Yamaha XT660, he was on a 1200GS, and he bought me this book, and there's a trip in it, books by Robert Wicks, and there's a trip in it detailing a 2-week tour of Morocco, which caught my imagination, and I said to myself, I'm going to do that. I am going to do that, whilst also acknowledging at the same time that it was probably quite a huge step outside of my comfort zone. And now that the Two-Wheel Dreamer channel's up and running, I thought it's time to push the envelope and explore what happens outside of my comfort zone. I see it as a character building exercise. So in the next 10 days, I think I have a scheduled 5,000 miles ahead of me. So I'm averaging about 500 miles a day. Today we're knocking on 500 miles. Yesterday was horrendous weather, horrendous weather. There was high winds, ferocious rain. I thought, here we go again. This is just like when I went to France back in April. But at the moment it's dry. I'm keeping my fingers crossed it's going to stay that way. There's a long day ahead of me, about 12 hours. But that just gives me a sense of excitement. 12 hours on the bike, and I know tomorrow's another 12-hour day, and the day after, and the day after. It actually, ironically, will get slightly easier in terms of mileage and time on the bike, I think, when I'm in Morocco. I've got a nice loop planned, or as much as you can plan anything. The eagle-eyed amongst you will notice at some point that I don't have that great big blue waterproof bag strapped to the back of the bike with my tent and everything, because I'm going to Airbnb this one. I feel I'd like a little bit of comfort. I want a chance to charge my laptop, to access some Wi-Fi so I can do some editing en route. I just can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. But the first stop is the Channel Tunnel, and that's going to take me about 3 hours, something like that. So I'm not going to bore you with loads and loads of motorway, because that's not very interesting. And indeed, quite a bit of today's riding in France is going to be motorway as well. I'm going to be stopping a couple of 100 miles or 150 miles south and slightly west of Paris for the night, before pushing on to Spain for tomorrow night. Lots and lots of miles ahead of me. Probably repeating myself now, but I'm concentrating on not being wiped out by any cars. Just ahead of the rush hour traffic. But I can't wait. I really can't wait. And who knows, next year when I do a big trip like this, Ben, who came with me on the Wild Atlantic Way, or we went together more accurately, he in his Land Rover, his old Defender called Ollie, and me on this bike, he may well be coming on a nice decent trip to the Alps or something next year with me on a bike, because he's just passed his mod 1, he's got his mod 2 in a week or two's time, and there's a big bike on the horizon for him. I wish him luck with that. Right, next stop, Folkestone. Well, result, I've made it to the Channel Tunnel. I'm well ahead of time, and I've been offered a tunnel that's kind of an hour ahead of when I was supposed to be leaving for no extra charge. So I've just got time to pop to the loo and then head to France basically. And I didn't get too soaked on the way, which is really good because it looked horrendous, the sky, really dark at times. Anyway, onwards. Okay, there's not even time for a coffee on this occasion, which I could really use because I'm a bit chilly, because we've been called, so it's time to proceed for departure, and France beckons. Exciting times. Last time I did this it was April, and far busier, and the weather was actually worse. I so have my fingers crossed that North Africa is going to deliver sunshine and warmth. It will be a tonic moving into the British winter. Bonjour. So far so good. It's all gone quite straightforward. I'm setting off an hour early, which is good. Google Maps seems to think that I'm going to get to where I'm staying tonight for around 6. I think it'll be a bit later than that because I'm going to have to stop a few times, but it's all good. I will try and get, once I'm across the channel, I'll try and get the destination into the BMW sat nav, see if I have any luck with that. But I've got a sneaky feeling Google Maps is going to be where it's at as usual. I might just put the town I'm heading, Naveil, something like that, into the BMW sat nav, and then let Google Maps get me to the actual destination. I'll work it out as I go along, as always. It's that usual mantra, the plan is there is no plan, because it's just too fluid to know for sure. Anyway, at least it's not raining. result. We have arrived in France, and I wouldn't go as far as to say it's sunny, but it looks brighter than it did back in England. So let the road trip begin. Although to be fair, it began. What?
As you go down the train, stay on the right or the left, not the middle bit. It's a slip. I think 3,005.
Yes, as I was saying, it's a bit brighter, it looks, in France than it does in the UK today, or certainly Folkestone. So I'm hoping I'm going to have a dry ride. I had a bit of luck entering the address into the BMW sat-nav. It seemed to find it straight away, which is very, very pleasant. It's a pleasant surprise. But I don't fully trust it just yet. So I've got Google Maps up and running on the phone as well. And I'll check that they're both sending me to the same place. Google Maps is sending me to the actual coordinates, courtesy of Airbnb, and the BMW sat-nav's relying on the address. We'll see which one is more accurate and if I actually get there, but it seems to think I'm going to arrive about 7. I think that's allowing for putting the clock forward an hour. We'll see. It always takes longer than the estimate, so I end up invariably stopping for fuel and something to eat and drink, etc. But we'll see how we go. Okay, so I went through customs and passport control on the UK side of the tunnel, which also covered France, so it is safe to say welcome to France. As I said last time I was riding up this ramp, or one of these ramps, it was April and I was bound for the south of France, and today is the start of a journey taking me to Morocco, the Atlas Mountains and the Sahara Desert. To say I'm a bit excited would be an understatement. Remember, keep to the right, they are words to live by at the moment. What I'm going to do in a second is pull over at the petrol station. I probably won't get petrol because I think it's quite dear just here. Just get myself organised, get the phone on charge, sort myself out, answer a couple of messages that are waiting to be answered, and yeah, get myself ready. Well, there was actually a brief moment of proper sunshine a second ago, so this is a complete result. And at the moment, both the Nav6 and Google Maps agree with each other, which again is a result. It's interesting straight away the difference between a dedicated motorcycle sat-nav and just your phone. The phone glaring over with the sunshine, and I can see the Nav6 clear as you like, even though you know, people regard it as a useless brick, and from all the horror stories I've heard, you know, it does sound that way, that there's definitely reliability problems with the Nav6, and I have had some trouble with my own one, to be fair. But weirdly, when mine was ghosting, I gave the screen a huge sort of deep clean and it seemed to sort it out, and it's been okay since. We'll see. It'll probably pack up on me in a minute, but we'll find out. So I'm just arriving at the first of what will be very many toll booths. I kind of told myself that I was going to avoid the péage, and the toll roads and take the D roads down to where I needed to be, but it just wasn't feasible. In the amount of time I got, just can't do it. So I got to bite the bullet and just pay, I'm afraid. There's no way around it. This is the trouble with being restricted with time and still wanting to get lots done. But I'm okay with that. I do love that little compartment. Much better than fiddling around with pockets. First fuel stop, and I'm going to grab a bite to eat. I was telling myself again that I was going to just sample beautiful local produce, but it's going to be something from the services because I'm hungry. What can you do? Okay, that's the bike fueled up, that's me fueled up. That's going to see me through now till I arrive at my destination for tonight. And my plan, seeing as I'm going to be there according to Google Maps at 7:20, that should be early enough for me to pop into town, see if I can find myself a bite to eat and not just exist off of service station food. I would very much like that, but you know, we'll play it by ear and see what happens. This is the first traffic that we've kind of come into contact with, really. First time I've slowed up at all. Google Maps shows it's red for a while. Reminds me a bit of driving or riding in London. I don't like that either. I think the more times I come into contact with large cities, it makes me realise more and more I'm a country boy, for sure. Where now? Some of these local motorcyclists are braver than me. I wouldn't be filtering like that. Thank you, person behind me. Broken free of the sprawling metropolis, and the road is somewhat more open now, so it says arrive in 94 miles, 1 hour 51 minutes. That's not too bad. That should be time to drop the stuff off at the accommodation once I find it, and go and find myself some food. And that's just, hopefully will be a successful first day, and I've got myself just about 500 miles from home. A good chunk of the way towards where I need to be, which is Spain tomorrow, and then the day after Morocco. Okay, time for a little comfort break now. It's going well. As I said, it's almost 10 hours in the saddle. I've got an hour and a half to go, so it's a big day, but it's all going smoothly. Tomorrow's going to be an even bigger day. I think I've got 600 miles tomorrow, so I need to get an early night tonight for sure. Right, let's get myself sorted. Well, that is hitting the spot, but I think what I'm going to do, I've got an hour and a half to go till I get to the Airbnb, and I think what I'm going to do is probably buy a sandwich here, which I can just put in the pannier, just in case I don't manage to get anything to eat in town when I arrive in an hour and a half's time, because I don't want to get there and then find I'm going to be hungry all night. So planning ahead. You watch me end up not having a decent meal again and just a sandwich, but at least it will be food. Cheers. A cup of coffee really hit the spot. I've got an hour and a half to go. I'm hoping, well, I think it will be dark by the time I get there, it will be, but only just. And I'm really hoping I can find this place. It may be too late to go out for a meal by the time I find it and get myself sorted. I think it's going to be 9, half 9. Maybe I'll be alright. Maybe I can get a pizza or something. Maybe there'll be a local restaurant still open. Anyway, 10 hours under our belt so far, and it's all going fine. Long may it continue. Oh, I'm starting to feel spots of rain. That's not allowed. Well, almost 11 hours into today's ride, and I've had to stop and take the media mod off the GoPro because it's raining, so the mic will stop working. So the last push is going to be without me chatting to you, which is probably a good thing, I don't know. Anyway, you may be tired of hearing my thoughts as I ride along, but you are my companions for this trip, so I will be nattering to you throughout. Let's get to the Airbnb. I'm ready.
Told me less is more, but baby, less is wrong. You take me, shake me, break me, wake me up. How come each time you call? Could make my halo slip. You knock me down with love like a wrecking ball. My 10-sound smile belies the pain I feel. I'm inside out. I know the thrill is cheap, but the price is high. I guess the other me would walk away without a doubt. I'm not your emperor, address me with your eyes. Find me, blind me, bind me, grind me down, then catch me when I fall. Strip me off my wings and make me fly with love.
I have arrived, I think. Certainly looks like the right address. House looks very quiet though. Well, I have arrived. My host is lovely, and I'm way away from any restaurants or shops. It's absolutely biblical rain. It's been raining for the last hour and a half solidly. So what I'm going to do is eat the sandwich that I had the foresight to buy whilst I was at the services earlier, and then I'm going to have a shower. I'm going to get myself ready for bed, and then I'll show you where I am on the map, and then that's going to be the end of today's video, because there is another longer day tomorrow, and I've been on the bike for just over 11 hours now. So tomorrow I think it's an extra 100 miles or so. Anyway, I'll show you the map in a bit. Okay, I've showered, I've eaten that sandwich, packet of crisps, had a drink of water. That's me sorted. I don't need luxuries, but this It's a luxurious room. This is lovely. I love it. Right, I'll show you where I was on the map. I may get it wrong because I just followed the fastest sat-nav route there was, and I'm not even sure what roads they were, to be honest, but I've got a general idea, so I'll show you. So the day started north of London, down to Folkestone, across on the tunnel, then obviously I've got a shadow here, I'll try and avoid that if I possibly can. So I came along here, and then we worked our way down here, skirted around the edge of Paris, as they say, and then after that it was then this N road, working the way down here, and I'm now in a little village called Naveil, which is Nevail, and it's just outside of Vendôme. Tiny little village. And then tomorrow I've got Google Maps says 8 hours 30 minutes riding time, so I say it's another 11-hour day in realistically 890 kilometers, something like that, so just over 500 miles, and that will see me into Spain and a little town called Burgos. So breakfast is being laid on for me tomorrow, which is really, really nice. So I'm gonna say goodnight now, have an early night, and enjoy breakfast in the morning and get back on the road. And I'm really hoping that awful rain has gone, because I had a beautifully dry journey all the way down, and then at the last 90 minutes it just opened up, as you saw on the footage. Everything is soaked, it's all there, trying to dry it off. I've got a sneaky feeling it's all going to be wet still in the morning, but what can you do? Life on the road. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please like and subscribe. I really, really appreciate it. We're north of 500 subscribers now, so it's all heading in the right direction, and your support enables these journeys to keep on going. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.